Hey, it's Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom. Today we're going to make an Easter bow, a nice big bow. This bow could go on a lantern. It could go on a grapevine wreath all by itself. It's going to be big enough to do just that. We're going to work with 3 2.5-inch ribbons and 3 1.5-inch ribbons. And I have super bad carpal tunnel, so I definitely use the Easy Bow Maker just to kind of hold our layers in between. But I wanted to show you what our ribbons are before I'm just going to take this off and set it on the floor because it's just easier to pull up with our ribbons that way. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get started. So I am going to start with our yellow 2.5-inch. Okay, and we're going to take our tail to about 15 inches or so. So when I'm making a bow this size, I do like the tails to all come down to one side. So you'll see us do that. And I like them to be kind of long. So we're going to start with the 15-inch. So I'm going to reach over and do 15-inch. And then our first tail is going to be about 6.5 inches. So 6.5, that's almost 7. So let's go 6.5. Perfect, just like that. And then I'm going to pinch, 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 pinch. Kind of pull those apart, twist, and do our next loop. Nice big loop there. And then pinch, 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 pinch. Twist. And come up for our next loop. And here I'm just going to make sure that those are about the same. Okay, and then I'm going to pinch. This is going to be a great big gigantic bow. Pinch and twist. So all of our layers, every layer, let me pull that in over there. That's the key. One of the things is when y'all make your layers and you have a ribbon that's kind of just tucked underneath there, you just go in there and pull it out and put it into position so that it's not, it doesn't start off on the wrong foot, right? So I'm just going to put that in there. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to actually, just like I would make our our bows that go on the pancake wreath. So we're going to watch those 2 loops here. Those 2 loops are going to kind of flip back and forth. And so the tails are going to flip back and forth. And that's going to allow us to balance the loops in the bow and bring the tails down to one side. Okay, so we're going to start, then we're going to go, we're going to go next with our plaid. Still going to be about 15 inches. And now from here, our loops get a little smaller. So I started off on the bigger side, almost 7 inches really. And so now I'm going to go closer to about 6.5. Again, I just want to make sure that we are in the good spot. We are. And I'm going to go spread it apart, twist, loop, pinch, twist, and loop. Now your ribbons, again, coordinating, matching. I start with 3 2.5-inch. And then I go to 3 1.5-inch. And you could even go super duper extra cute and add a nice fun smaller ribbon to the very top. Okay, we're going each side. All right, we're going to go, the next one is going to be our super cute Easter egg with the little chickies. This one is a satin. The yellow is a satin also, but this is a satin, and it kind of curls under. It's just a really thin satin. Ultra cute, right? How could we not use this? Ultra cute. However, it's a good ribbon, but it's a thin ribbon. So you're going to see that curl, and there really isn't anything you can do to eliminate that. So again, I'm going to start with my tail, and then I'm going to go with a 6-inch because we're moving on down. Actually, I'm just going to use this because I can't see the loops at this point. I'm going to start with it. Goes down to 6-inch and pinch. Now, this ribbon is definitely a one directional. So what I mean by that is the little eggs and the Easter egg, the words, the Easter egg, words Easter, happy Easter, on the Easter egg, sorry, are going one way. So if I'm not paying quite close attention, I could end up with a tail coming down that is upside down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here and cut that off, because this is the tail that would end up kind of upside down. You see how it would be upside down? This is clearly going the right way. This is clearly upside down. So I'm going to just cut this off without cutting my little hand. I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to put it this way, right? This is where my tails should go, my loops should go. So it's going this way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to then measure another 15 inches, and I'm going to pinch there. And then what I'm going to do is cut here, and I'm going to put the tail, just because it's cut here, you know, I could put them in both here, which is fine. But because it's cut, and once it's in, I don't want to really mess with it too much, I am going to put it in this side, because when I pull it down, I want those words again to be, you know, looking the right way. So I'm going to put it one on each side, which is totally fine. Okay. Get this out of the way. Then I'm going to come in with the, so this teal, aqua, whatever color you want to call it, I'm pulling from here in this second ribbon, and I'm pulling, you'll see in the bunny ribbon, which is also another one directional ribbon, I'm pulling the color from there too. So might look a little different when it's right up against that blue, but it is pulling out directly the same from here and in the bunny. So it's still super cute, and it matches very nicely. So we're going to add again 15 inches. Everything's getting a little smaller. I'm going about 5.5 inches now. 5 and let's say 5 3/4, let's say mostly. And I'm going to pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist, and I'm paying attention again to where those 2 loops are, and I'm going to go opposite of where the 2 loops are. So even though we had a tail on both sides, I have the 2 loops over here, so I'm going to put the 2 loops going on the opposite side. Okay, pull that down, cut us off. Perfect. Making sure that stays. Now, you can clearly see I am perfectly capable of making the bow in my hand with the layers, but my carpal tunnel is not one that's going to let me just get away with it. So using the Easy Bow Maker, again, totally worth the help for sure. So we're going to start with now our tail again. You see how this is one directional, right? So this one's going to go this way and come down, and then we're going to cut it off, and then we're going to put another one this way, and it's going to come down. Okay, so I'm going to start with the tail, because this one allows me to start with the tail with the direction that it's going. And you can see here, here's that color, right? Perfect. And we're just going to go with our about 5.5 inch. Let's make it a little bit slow. There we go, 5.5. I'm going to pinch, nice and tight, pull it apart there, twist, come up for another loop, pinch. Here's my other loop, and then I can cut it off. Okay, because if I didn't, when I twist here, you see, now one's upside down, right? We don't want the upside down. We want them to all be going the right way. So I'm going to cut this off. So here's my 2 loops. Here's my 2 loops. We've established already that this is going to be our down. Okay, so I took my 2 loop, or my second loop off. I'm sorry, my tail off when I measure my second tail. Again, pinch. I'm going to put it right in there so that it can go opposite. Come this way and come down. Okay, And hold that just there for a second. And I'm going to grab my very last, now I am going to put this all together with a zip tie. It's going to be a nice big giganto bow, and I want to keep it all nice and tight. So I did grab a zip tie for that. And you see this little guy sticking out here. Once we have it all together, if I can see it, I'll trim it. If I can't, I'm not going to touch it. Just because, you know, that little extra kind of going over to the side will help keep that little part in place. So this is an all directional ribbon. It doesn't matter which way I'm going in. So I am going to go start again with my 15 inches. And my center loop is going to be about 3.5 inches. This is 3.5 inches. So I'm going to start with that Easter egg. This is not, I'm going to end with the Easter egg. It's going to be in the center. And that little loop there is going to help me hide my zip tie and my pipe cleaner, and you won't, so that you won't see it. So I'm going to start with that. It's not going to count against my loop count. I'm going to twist, come down from my neck for my first loop. So this is going to be my first loop, and I need 3. So pinch, twist, and loop, pinch, twist, and loop, pinch, and twist. Now again, I'm looking for my 2 loops. My 2 loops were over here, so I'm going to put my other 2 loops, or my next layer 2 loops, over here on this side. And because we technically had 4 loops, remember the 2 normal size, a smaller size, and a big size, that ended up putting the tails on both sides, on either end. So there we have that. All right, now, I have a ribbon mess on the floor. Now, just trying to be careful that I don't roll over it. I'm going to push this down, push it down so it snuggles them all together. And I'm going to say a little quick prayer to the ribbon gods. Make sure everything stays the same, stays good. I'm going to lift this up, and as I lift it up, I'm going to grab it from the top and the bottom and squeeze. Okay, so I have a nice grip on there. Pull it up so it stays nice and stacked. As you can see, nice and stacked here, real nice. So I'm going to take this, it's black. I wish I had clear. Actually, okay, hold on. I do have a blue one, actually. I thought I was ordering clear, and my husband's like, why did you order blue? And I was like, I didn't order blue. But this will go really good. So see, this is why I ordered the blue. It was night, it was dark. I was ordering at night. He's like, that doesn't matter. Your phone has a light. Your phone has a screen. I'm like, I'm just trying to give you excuses. I don't know why I ordered it. Okay, coming up, making sure I'm trying to do the very best I can to keep all that ribbon staying in place. Nice and tight. It looks like a complete disaster. It's all right. I'm going to just clip that off. There we go. And then before I do anything else, I'm just going to grab this and put it around our bow. So some people like to put the let me just move that. I got it. The zip tie, what is this called? The pipe cleaner, kind of long ways underneath. So it's going with the ribbon. So the zip tie, you know, kind of catches the whole thing. But I mean, just in case, I just like to have that as an extra kind of added security. And then before we go any further, we are going to dovetail all of our ends. For me, personally, this is the way I remember, number 1, to do it. Number 2, to catch and do all of them. So I'm just going to, usually I do 2 at a time, but I'll just do 1. Not that I need to do 1, but that one's done. And so, then once it's all together and I have it laying and fluffed, if I have one that's like, you know, way too long, I can totally cut it, but if I need to. But I just take for Granted that I did cut them about 15 inches. You notice I say not exactly, but about 15 inches. And then just trim them from there. There we go. Okay, so here's the fun part. Now, I'm going to take all of those tails and pull them down to one side. Let's establish which one side that is. Here's this one, it's got to come down this way. Here's this one, it's got to come down this way. Here's this one, it's going to come this way. So this is going to be my bottom. This is going to be my top. What I like to do is I like to hold the bottom with my pipe cleaners. And I like to bring that top straight up. Remember I said that was going to hide my pipe cleaner? And that's what I mean by that. That's going to be the center of my bow. So I'm going to work from the bottom layer to the top layer. And I'm going to pull all of those tails to one side. Now, does it look like a mess? Yep, it looks like a mess. But we're going to do our very best and be patient with our ribbon. Now, I just started using a zip tie. Normally, I don't. So I haven't in the past. But I do like that it is nice and keeps everything nice and tight. Okay, where's the other one? Here it is, hidden under here. It's hiding. Right now I'm just pulling the tails. I'm just looking for the tails. So here's our very first one directional. Pulling that one. And I want to pull by layer because, you know, I don't want the layer on top to get tangled and to get, you know, to end up being frustrating. I want to make sure that those tails are coming down in order of the layer so that they are, you know, they don't look funny. Like if I was going to bring this one down and I don't want to be trying to pull it over the yellow, I definitely want to make sure it comes under the yellow. So just little things like that just helps everything. And then last, of course, that really pretty yellow coming right on top. You know, I think it's so funny how when I was younger, like yellow was like the most horrible color. I hated getting yellow. I hated ending up with that color. Oh, look at how pretty that's going to be. I love it. And then the last thing I'm going to do, of course, or the next thing I'm going to do is now I'm going to fluff our top. So you can see clearly bow tails. Now I need to round this out as best as I can, right? You're the boss of the ribbon. So I'm going to start on one side and just pull. I am making sure I'm pulling right down into the center. I'm not just, you know, lackadaisically, is that a word? I don't know. Pulling those apart. I'm making sure right down to the center of that bow, that ribbon is moving into place. I'm not just trying to, you know, pull it over a little bit. I want it to actually go where I want it to go. I want to be in charge. See? Now I can see the polka dots, I can see the plaids, the eggs, I can see all those different colors. And I brought that right up to the top here. And I'm going to meet that on the other side with what we have going on here. Again, starting at the bottom, right? And I am making a pattern, even though you don't know, haven't been calling it out. So I have this pattern going. I have plaid, yellow, plaid, yellow, plaid, yellow. And then the next layer is going to be the plaid and the blue. So I have plaid, blue, plaid, blue, plaid, blue. Then I'm going to go with the blue and the teal. Blue, teal, blue, teal, blue, teal, and then so on and so forth, right? You're catching the drift here. You got to be in charge. You got to make yourself in charge of that ribbon. Beautiful. So cute. I'm just going to hold it up on end. This is a great big bow. So I'm going to hold it up on end and just make sure that my ribbon is doing where I want it to be, where I want it to go, what I want it to do. And fluff those loopies best as I can. This is so pretty. Now again, it can go attached right to your lantern, to a garage. This is big enough to attach to your your garage door lights or your lights on your porch. Like, this is gorgeous, y'all. So pretty. Let me just zoom out a little tiny bit without showing you my whole mess. If you see it, it's okay. That is so pretty. Look at just all of it. And I'm not going to try to straighten them out. Like, I like to see all those different layers in the bow. So pretty. The bow ends up being, let's see how wide we are. We're about 13 inches wide. And all together, we're about, let's say 19 inches long. So really nice size bow here. Nice size. And again, let's talk about the colors for just 1 second. I pulled the yellow from the bottom all the way to the top. I pulled that teal right out of here and into the pink. You can see it in different places all over. Of course, the purple is all throughout. The green all throughout. Just really nice mix here. Beautiful on those loops. Nice and big. Super duper cute. Y'all, I hope this helped you. Hope it inspired you to make bows. I always seem to sell bows this size. Again, it's not the typical bow that's going to necessarily... Oh, I missed one. No, I didn't. It's not this bow that's going to necessarily go on your wreath, although you can, right? You totally can if you got a big wreath going on. This is not the size bow that I'm going to put on a pancake wreath, that's for sure. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see yours. Don't forget to be following us on subscribed on all of our social media platforms. If you're looking for our phone number, joining our email list, when to get alerts for kits, a list of our favorite suppliers, a list of our favorite tools, some free resources, like a list of things, go to learnfrommelissa.com. Learnfrommelissa.com. It'll bring you to everything you need for us, including upcoming classes, previous classes, and all the ways we can help you. Thank you very much for joining, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Bye, y'all.